If they would have spent the amount of money they spent on features and cameos on something more useful, like, I don't know, the story, the actual movie, then we would have had a sequel. Thank you so much for tuning into my YouTube channel, #Movie Bae. I am Movie Bae, and in this video, I am going to be doing a review over Coming to America, the 30-year sequel to Coming to America. I personally didn't ask for this, did y'all? Let's get into it. If you haven't seen my trailer reaction to this movie, be sure y'all click up there, watch it after we done, and subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can stop missing my videos. We all knew that this movie was not going to be 1988. We knew it. That's why I just really wish people would stop rebooting and doing old ass sequels, decade-long sequels. So I personally did not go in with high expectations, and I don't plan on critiquing this movie that much on the same level as 1988. The elements that the original Coming to America did have were, it was funny organically, and it had a good cast with a good story and good acting. Everything this movie was lacking. Everything this movie was lacking. Y'all know me, let's talk about the writing of this film. This movie was written by 3 different writers. And you could tell it was written by 3 different writers. That's not uncommon to have multiple writers on a movie. It's not. But you can tell this movie had 3 different writers. 2 of which worked on the original Coming to America. David Sheffield and Barry B. I can't pronounce his last name, so his name is Barry B. The newcomer, however, is Kenya Barris. Y'all know, Black as Fuck, Girls Trip, stale humor. I feel like this movie, everybody wrote it individually and then came together and was like, oh, well, let's just try to make mine fit with yours and yours fit with mine, and let's just do it like that. And I feel like you can tell because the first 10 minutes of the movie had 5 scenes. The first 10 minutes of the movie? 5 scenes? We start off, you know, seeing the palace. You see the OG flower girl. I can't think of her name off head. Fancy. Still looking beautiful. And then you see the pictures from the first movie. Love it, love it, love it. But then they wake up to their children and it's their anniversary. Then they go to McDowell's for their anniversary. And now he's fighting with his daughters, you know, the sticks fighting. I don't know what it's called. And then now Wesley Snipes' character is here to say, we need to marry our kids or I'm going to attack your country. And then James Earl Jones is dying and I have a bastard son. That was all in the first 10 minutes of the movie. I kid you not, I timestamped it. That's a lot going on. That's a whole lot of. And it didn't need to be that much. Let me rewrite this movie for you. They could have woke up on their anniversary, had the fighting scene with the daughter, show some bonding time with their father, you know what I'm saying? Possibly talking about being the heir. Oh, grandfather is sick, whatever. And then, you know, after he fights with his sister, I like the little transition walking scene. We get it's Simi, and then now Wesley Snipes' character is here talking about we need a proposal or I'm going to attack. See how less chaotic that is? And more fleshed out. That probably would have been the first 15 to 20 minutes, and that's 3 scenes. I'm just saying. This movie prioritized comedy before it prioritized the story. This is a movie, right? Or is it a comedy show? Let me know. Let's go into directing and acting. The cast of this film, whoa, actually, I got overwhelmed thinking about that. The main cast of this film were pretty solid. I felt like Eddie Murphy was more reserved, as you would expect out of a character who is now plus 30. So he's a little more reserved, which gives other characters a moment to shine. They tried to give too many characters that moment to shine, and they all tried to shine in a way that didn't need to be shined. One thing that made 1988 film flawless to me was Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall's chemistry. I did not mind that they were 75% of the people in the 1988 film because they were funny in every scene. We don't need 50 cameos. We can do it by ourselves, okay? I kind of wish they would have kept the humor between them, Leslie Jones, and the new son. I didn't really need anybody else to be that funny. Wesley Snipes was cool. He was a nice addition. But everything else could have not been, okay? Jermaine Fowler, who played Lavelle, the bastard son, as they so put it. I'm rethinking about the movie, and I'm not pleased. The interview scene could have been scratched. They could have came up with something better in place of that. Even though his comedy isn't my type of comedy, he did better with the comedic scenes than the serious scenes. I feel like they were overact, they were hella dramatic, bad timing, they weren't organic. Some of that can be direction, because as a director, you can say, okay, cut, maybe you should do it more like this. Maybe you should pause a little bit, break. You know what I'm saying? Take a beat. Even if you're a bad actor, direction can help you. Leslie Jones and Wesley Snipes were the highlights of this movie for me, unexpectedly. Because Leslie Jones' acting could get overbearing for me. She's like a more tolerable Tiffany Haddish. Even though I feel like she was playing a character that is stereotypical, somebody she's played before, she still did good in it. I feel like most of her lines were probably improv, because we all know they really wasn't writing shit in this movie. Like, when we were introduced to her back in New York, I actually liked that. Like, I felt like this movie had a lot of, it took me on a roller coaster. It was like horrible, and then it got good, and then it got horrible, and then it got okay, and then, and then it just coasted the rest of the movie. I don't know if my expectations were like fucked or what, but it was just like straight toward the end of the movie. There were also a lot of flashbacks in this movie, a lot of forced flashbacks. We did not need this many flashbacks. We saw the first one. If you didn't see the first one, why are you watching the second? That's how you know that this movie is so bad that they put half of the first movie into the second movie. The only flashback that was warranted is when, you know, how he met Leslie Jones's character that night. That's the only flashback I really needed, because I was like, how, sway, how, when, sway, when. All the other flashbacks that they used in this movie could have been spent on time with other characters fleshing out the story. Let's just say that. I'm done. I'm gonna try not to talk about the writing no more. I'm gonna try not to. But I'm a writer, and that's what sticks out the most to me. Speaking of flashbacks, the graphics in this movie, the design of this movie, the costumes of this movie. I thought about my good girl from Struggle Reviews when she stated that Coming to America 1988 looked so rich, and it made Africa look like this place we all wanted to go. Like, this was a wealthy family, this was royalty, this was a palace. So when I saw the costumes in this movie, I was like, oh, she gonna have a fit. Because this shit looked cheap. It looked cheap. Some of this movie was shot on Tyler Perry Studios. And then I found out that the palace was actually one of Rick Ross's estates. And I saw pictures of the actual mansion. Nice mansion. So what they did to it, what the set design did to it, really cheapened the look. I'm not even gonna lie. They put up these flags and paintings, and it was like, no. Instead of paying Rick Ross to be in this movie, instead of paying Michael Blackson, Trevor Noah, instead of paying all these other people to be in this damn movie, you could have spent it on something like wardrobe and set design to really enhance the experience. Even if the movie was bad, but it looked good, it would have been more watchable. The lady who was over wardrobe, she has done a lot of wardrobe in African-based movies. She did the wardrobe for Black Panther. Speaking of, how they gonna give Lavelle the Killmonger, bro? How they gonna give him the Killmonger hairstyle? And that shit just looked mongered. Is this the barber? You're fired. Stop flirting and do his damn hair correctly. How about that? But yeah, man, just to sum it up, there are a lot of people in this movie that did not need to be in this movie. I feel like instead of focusing on giving everybody one line to say, giving all 50 people one line to say, they could have taken the plot of this movie, the main cast, and fleshed out the roles, fleshed out the story, and you can still make it comedic, because no matter what, the fish out of water element, that's always funny. Lavelle coming to Zamunda was going to be funny. You didn't need to amp it up with a whole bunch of not funny stuff. My favorite parts of the film were the nostalgia pieces, the McDowell, the McDowell references. I laughed the hardest with the McFlurby, I'm not gonna lie. They have the McFlurry, we have the McFlurby. They put their toppings on the top, we put our toppings on the bottom. What the fuck? I laughed so hard. That was the best part of the movie. I laughed too hard at that part. If I had to give this movie a letter grade, I would give it, I'd be so distraught when I be giving it. I don't want to give this a bad rating, but it wasn't good. I would not rewatch it if I wasn't doing a review about it. So I'm gonna give it a C. I'm gonna just give it a C. Be sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube. Be sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Leave what was your favorite part down below, if you had one. I'll see you next time. It's today. Here's my alternate movie for y'all. I got a couple. 1, no musicals. 2, no American pop stars. How we in Africa and only got one Afrobeat artist at the very end? Explain.